What's good, everybody? Hopefully you guys are doing good. So today I'm going to talk about 5 stocks that are on my watch list that I'm keeping an eye on to see if they drop in price. I might be making a purchase. I got this chart up here. 2020 stock market crash and rebound amid the bug. As you guys can see here, Dow Jones, S&P, the Nasdaq. Early year, we were at all-time highs, right? The index was doing really good. And then February 19th, and S&P was at an all-time high, and then March is when we started to decline. And about mid-March is when it dropped, and right now we have made a decent recovery, although with the rising number of cases right now, it's uncertain if we're going to have a similar drop here or we're going to continue to have rising numbers. So we're going to have to wait and see. But I got 5 stocks, so I'm going to break it down, and here we go. Alright, and the first stock I have here is Kimberly-Clark. And in case you guys don't know, which I'm sure you do, they mostly deal with feminine and hygiene products, as you can see here. Cottonelle, Scott, Huggies, Pull-Ups. You probably see these in your local grocery stores. If you go to Walmart, Target, Costco, you probably see them. And their stock value right now at the moment is 144.70, and their 52-week high was 149, so it is close to its 52-week high. I do not own Kimberly-Clark. I am keeping an eye on them because their dividend yield is not bad, 2.96, almost at 3%. Market cap is 49 billion. The PE ratio is 21. Alright, and here on Simply Safe Dividends, some more information. Their dividend at the moment is very safe. It's a large cap. Its volatility is low. The dividend growth this year has been slow. Like I said, almost 3%. And as we continue down here, their payout ratio 57, which is low for consumer staples. 48 plus years without a reduction in the dividend. Recession dividend increased during 2007, 2009. And dividend growth, as you can see, this year is slow. Last 5 years it's been slow. Last 20 years average. So it has been growing, but kind of at a slow pace. But however, the good thing though here is 49 years it's consecutively increased, and 49 years without a reduction, almost a little bit more than $1 per share. So that's not bad. So their dividend yield is good. Over here on Dividend Channel, another website I like to use, just to confirm, their chart is pretty consistent, and dividend yield, like I said, almost 3%. Market cap 49 billion. So overall it's good. And in case you guys are outside the states, here's a more definitive definition for what Kimberly-Clark does. They're principally engaged in the manufacturing and marketing of a range of products primarily made from natural or synthetic fibers using technologies in fibers, nonwovens, and absorbency. So they got 3 main operating segments. They got personal care, which provides products such as disposable diapers, training and youth pants, swim pants, feminine and incontinence care products, and they got consumer tissue, with everyone knows basically the tissue, Kleenex. That's what Kimberly-Clark is about. And in the news, something else I like to see, they have plans for climate change goals, which is good. They got positive public perception, which helps. They're going to help reduce the let's do it here. Self-imposed climate change goals that it hopes to reduce the impact it has by the planet in the year 2030. So they have a plan to try to help with greenhouse gases, including Kleenex, Cottonelle, Scott, by 50% to 1 scoop. So they're trying to limit their carbon footprint. So that's why Kimberly-Clark is a company that I'm looking into. People need these products. They're not going anywhere. Overall, their stock has been growing. They've been around since 1980, and it's a decent chart. Like I said, only concern is right now the price is kind of high, but once it drops a little bit, I will be looking to make my way into it. On to the next stock. Alright guys, and the next stock on my list is Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup. Yes, I'm sure all of you have seen their commercials as a kid growing up. This is their website. They have a lot of different products here. I'm going to show you guys their brands. They got Cape Cod, Campbell's, Goldfish, Kettle Brand, Lance, Late July Snacks, Milano, Pepper Ridge Farm, Pace, Pacific Foods, and they got more. So that's kind of an idea of what Campbell's soup products that they have. Also, they're celebrating a sustainability milestone on 70,000 acres of wheat, which is good public perception. And they support Pride Month, the LGBTQ plus organization, and that's good for public perception. Now, if we take a look at their stock over here, we can see right now it's $49.70. Market cap is decent, about 15 billion, PE ratio under 10. 52-week high was 57, and their chart, like I said, is not bad. They've been around since 1981. They've had some nice growth, and then they drop, and then they've grown, and then they've dropped, and they've kind of rebounded. And over here on Simply Safe Dividends, their dividend safety is borderline safe, 15 billion as I had mentioned, which is considered a large cap. Dividend growth last year, 0%, very slow. So that's the one thing that I don't like. The dividend growth has been slow. They've had 17 years without a reduction, and they increased their dividend during the Great Recession between 07 and 09. However, their dividend is kind of concerning. Last year, very slow. Last 5 years, 2%, very slow. Last 20 years, 2%, very slow. If we go over here to Dividend Channel, in case those of you aren't familiar with the brand, Campbell's Soup is a manufacturer and marketer of food and beverage products, meals and beverages, which include the retail food service business in the US and Canada, and the meals and shelf-stable business in Latin America. So they're pretty well diversified. And like I was saying, they have Hanover pretzels, Lance sandwich crackers, Cape Cod, and Kettle brand potato chips, Late July snacks, Snack Factory, Pretzel Crisp, Pop Secret Corn, Emerald Nuts, and a bunch of other brands that you probably have seen in the grocery store if you've gone shopping. But yeah, their dividend growth is the one thing that I don't like at all. Very low, and right now it's about 35 cents per share. However, the one key thing is they have good public perception. Like I said, Campbell's Soup marks milestone on wheat sustainability, which going forward that helps with the environment, being sustainable, and all that good stuff that people like to hear about. The company identified several benefits related to improved farm practices, including the production and use of nitrogen filter. It is the largest contributor to greenhouse gas emissions from farming practices. Farmers can now grow more at a lower expense, which means they are more profitable. Applying more nitrogen and phosphorus fertilizer than needed increases the likelihood of contaminating local watersheds or groundwater. So here you have it. That's Campbell's Soup. And yeah, overall, like I said, the one thing I don't like is their dividends, but Campbell's Soup, especially now people are buying in bulk, Campbell's Soup brand is going to be pretty sustainable and something I'm going to keep an eye on. If it drops between, let's say, like 30 to 35, I might look at it, but this is not higher up on the list. It's just something I'm keeping an eye on. All right, on to the next one. All right, guys, and the next stock on the list is Pfizer. Pfizer is the next one I have. So in case you don't know, they're a pharmaceutical company, and they're the ones that are trying to lead away for a vaccine for the bug that we're dealing with at the moment. And it looks like they have a good global market. They're kind of reaching other countries that need medicine and vaccines. They're basically a global supplier of pharmaceuticals, and in the US too. Now here's big news right here. Pfizer and BioNTech granted FDA fast track, looks like, for the vaccine program, which I'll get to in a minute. However, let's look at their stock over here. They've been around since 1980. It was less than $1 a share. Their chart looks decent. They did dip here, but they've been kind of on the rise before this whole situation has occurred. Right now it's at $36 a share. PE ratio is 12.9, which is pretty low. $200 billion market cap. So they are a mega company. And their 52-week high was 43, and dividend yield is a solid 4.2. All right, as I was saying, the dividend safety right now is a 75. Dividend growth is about 6%. The dividend yield is 4.21. It is a mega cap at $198 billion. Payout ratio is 50%, which is low for most companies. Forward payout ratio is about 57. They got 10 years without a dividend reduction. However, during the Great Recession, they did cut their dividend, which is not good. Dividend growth this year is about 6%. Last 5 years, 6%. Last 20 years, 7%, which is average. And as you can see, they cut here during the Great Recession, and they've been slowly increasing it over time. They've had 10 years though of consecutive increases and 10 years without a reduction. And it's about, let's see here, annual payout is $1.52 per share, and they pay quarterly, which is, like I said, not bad. And over here, we go on dividend channel. In case you guys aren't aware, Pfizer is a research-based pharmaceutical, a biopharmaceutical company engaged in discovering, developing, manufacturing, and distributing of healthcare products, including medicines and vaccines. Now, a few of their brands, Lyrissa, Lipitor, Novisk, Celebrex, Viagra, and certain generic medicines and consumer healthcare, which is the over-the-counter medicine business. Now, this was the good news that I was saying in terms of their public perception. They did have the first round of vaccines go through. Pfizer and BioNTech granted FDA Fast Track designation for 2 investigational mRNA-based vaccine candidates against everything that's going on, the bug and the other bug. We got 2 bugs at the moment. That's definitely good news. And if you go over on their main page, they show you their products, right? So if you go over here, you click on product listing. The one main thing is they have branded products and generic. So they got both of those sectors covered. And as you can see here, they got a whole bunch of stuff. This is just part of their list. A bunch of stuff I can't even pronounce. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce. So adenosine, aldacta something, a bunch of crazy names I can't even pronounce. But anyways, these are their products, and they have a whole bunch more. So Pfizer, I do own Pfizer. So Pfizer is the only one on this list that I'm currently invested in. I'm keeping my eyes open. If this thing drops around 30, the low 30s, I'm gonna definitely probably have to stock up a little bit, because I think if they have their whole vaccine thing go through, the value in the stock is gonna go up. That's just a prediction. I could be wrong. However, that's just what I see potentially happening. All right, on to the next stock. All right, guys, the next stock we have on the list is BristolMyers Squibb. They are another pharmaceutical company. They are working on the bug situation and trying to find a potential either cure or a drug or something. So they are definitely responding to it. And if you go over here on the side, the medicines that they have is similar to Pfizer. And I'll show you guys here real quickly. Our medicine, we are a global biopharmaceutical company focused on helping to address the unmet medical needs of patients with serious disease. In 2016, we invested $4.9 billion in R&D, research and development, which included the discovery and development of new medicine. And they have a whole bunch of stuff here as well. Stuff I can't pronounce, but you know what, let's just have some fun. Let's try to pronounce this stuff. Abraxane, Azactam, Baraclude, Droxia, Eliquis, Hydria, or let me find some easy ones. Kenalog, Orencia, Pravachol, and a bunch of other stuff. So as you can see, they're similar. Oh, there's more. There's all these other brands that they have. And over here on the top, report side effects or product quality complaints about legacy. So they have like a good way to have people reach them, toll-free, US only. Report side effects or product quality complaints. Now let's look at their stock information here. Right now, it is $59.99, so $60 a share. They've been around since 1980, so a company that's been around for a long time. They had solid growth for the most part. They kind of dipped here in the early 2000s, and then they steadily grew, and then they dropped right about the time of the Great Recession, and then they just kept rising and rising and rising, and then they dropped, and then they rise, and they drop, and then they rise. The market cap is $135 billion. The PE ratio is kind of high though, 74. Dividend yield is 3%. The 52-week high is 68. Now let's go over here to Simply Safe Dividends to get some more information. Dividend yield 3%. Dividend safety is safe, so that's not bad. Dividend growth, kind of bad. 4% last year. Market cap, as we said, $134 billion, which is a mega cap. Now, the reason why it's safe, the dividend, it says reviewing Bristol-Myers' $90 billion acquisition of Celgene in 2019, so that might make it to where they might have to pay that. However, the good thing, they have 29 plus years of dividend growth without a reduction. Recession dividend was maintained. Let's continue on here. Here we go. This is a chart I like to see. Dividend growth, 4%, 3%, 3%. It's been slow. 13 plus years of consecutive increase, 29 plus years without a reduction. Annual payout is $1.80 a year. So that's the only thing is I wish the dividend would grow kind of faster. I like fast growing dividends. Helps you compound and accumulate a little bit quicker, but it's a pharmaceutical company. They have a lot of costs and it's understandable. So in case you guys don't know, BristolMyers Squibb is engaged in discovery, development, licensing, manufacturing, marketing, distribution, and sale of biopharmaceutical products. CEO's products are sold worldwide, primarily to wholesalers, specialty distributors, retail pharmacies, hospital, government entities, and the medical profession. They manufacture in the U.S. and Puerto Rico and has manufacturing operations in 2 countries. So there you go. That's basically what they do. And if we go over here, see what's going on in the public. EMA accept Bristol-Myers Squibb CAR-T application for lymphoma. This is from 2020. This actually came out today, so this is fresh off the press, guys. I give you guys top news right away. European Medicine Agency has accepted for review Bristol-Myers Squibb's marketing application seeking approval of, here we go, I can't pronounce this stuff, lysocabtagene maraleucel, a CD19 direct chimeric antigen receptor T-cell therapy for the treatment of adults with relapsed or refractory diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, primarily media. Okay, guys, so basically they're doing something for lymphoma, so that's good. That's Bristol-Myers Squibb. I do not own them at the moment. My buying range would probably be like low 40s. That's just for me. If I look at it, like I said, it's not really too high up, but it's something I'm keeping an eye out. All right, on to the next one. All right, guys, and the last stock I have on my list today is Intel Corporation. Now, this is Intel's website. This is their investor relations page, their page. From powering the cloud and billions of smart devices to advancing leading governance and corporate responsibility practices, Intel creates value for our stockholders, customers, and society. Basically, they make chips, in case you guys don't know. Here's their stock data, latest price, $60 a share. It's up about 1.64%, 5.73 million is their volume, and this gives you a whole bunch of information: presentation, stockholder services, processor price list, investor alert, and investor FAQ. Now, I might make a video later for my top 5 or top 10 or top 20 investing mistakes when I first started, because in the beginning, you're gonna have a learning curve. One of my big mistakes was I didn't go through all this stuff. I'll be completely honest. I didn't go on any investor relations page. I went on a couple, but I wasn't very thorough with it. I just got a rough idea. I would do every little thing you can to make sure you fully understand what this company is about. The same way if somebody asks you about you, where you live, your address, what you do for work, if you're going to school, what your major is, and you can pretty much explain it without any hesitation. You kind of want to have the same mindset when it comes to the stock. You really want to know everything about them, where they're going to be in 5 to 10 years, what they're currently doing, what projects they're working on, what they're trying to acquire, how much debt, all the stuff that you should know. You really want to make sure you do a thorough investigation before you invest in some of these companies. Well, any company, just do your research, and also, as I always say, talk to an expert in your area who's going to know what is best for your investment goals in the future. Okay, so let's begin. So I do not own Intel as well. They have been on the list for a while. I want to get into the technology and the chips and all that stuff, so I don't think it's going to go anywhere anytime soon. However, let's look at their price over here. Right now it's $60. Their 52-week high was at 69. Dividend yield is 2.2. The PE ratio is pretty low though, 11.6. Market cap is a mega cap, 254 billion. As you can see, they've been around since the early 80s. They had crazy growth in the late to early 2000s. I should say late 90s, early 2000s, and then it dropped pretty significantly. And they've recovered and they've continued to kind of go up and drop, go up and drop. But as of late, it's been doing pretty well. But like I said, 60 is kind of high for me. The range for me, I'd say probably between 45 and 50. Like I said, I'm waiting at a good time. This is not something I'm too urgent about, but that's something I would keep in mind for myself. All right, and let's go over to Simply Safe Dividends so we can confirm their dividend is 2.19%. Their dividend safety is very safe, so that's positive. Dividend growth 5% this year is average. 250 billion, it's a mega cap, as we have said. 20 years of uninterrupted dividends, that's definitely a positive. 22 years without a reduction, the payout ratio of 23% is low for semiconductor firms. The dividends through the recession has been maintained. Dividend growth this year 5%, last 5 years 7%, last 20 years 16%, very fast. So this chart here shows it pretty nicely. They've been growing at a good rate at this point. 6 years of consecutive increases, 22 years without a reduction. Annual payment per share is $1.32. Now let's go over here to Dividend Channel to get some more information. In case you guys don't know what Intel does, they are a data-centric company. Operating segments are Data Center Group, which develops platforms for compute, storage, and network functions. Internet of Things Group, which facilitates its customer creating, storage, and processing data. So basically, it's a bunch of technology stuff. Intel, 3D NAND technology, programmable solution, a bunch of good stuff, guys. Now, public perception here. Intel has something big to share on September 2nd. Intel has sent invitations to selected press members for an upcoming event scheduled for the 2nd of September. Intel hasn't shared details about what it will happen during this event, but we might have a clue on what's coming. So, Intel teased a summer release for its upcoming 11th gen processor. So they do their processors. Between now and the tweet from Shroud listing features, Tiger Lake equipped devices have surfaced and Tiger Lake benchmarks were spotted. So these are things I don't know too much about, to be honest with you guys. But if I were to seriously invest in them anytime soon, I would make sure I know what the hell this is. What is their plan for this new processor? How much it's going to cost? What products are going to be in? All that stuff I would make sure I know about 100%, and I can explain to somebody who has no idea before I get into the stock. Alright guys, so I'm going to leave it there for now. That's from me in this video. As always, if you're not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, don't forget to give it a like. Until next time, peace.